Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you today.
How do you do today?
Perfect.
Okay, I want to get your thoughts about Manchester United's game today. Obviously, when the game started, they all had us thinking that they were finally going to get the job done against Galatasary. But surprisingly, we still can't explain how a team that was leading 3-1, suddenly the match ended in a draw. Pathetic for United. So what do you have to say about the matchup?
So when we saw over the weekend that the free kick, not the free kick, the bicycle kick, when it happened, we were like, come on. It seems like Manchester United are back. But what then happened today? A Galatasaray team. Do you know that Galatasaray team has players that were more like outcasts by their clubs in England? You have Ndombele, you have Torreira of Arsenal, that he had, as in he couldn't get a shirt after the time of Emery and the time of we had that Europa. Arsenal had their Europa final, lost the Europa final to Chelsea, if you can remember. That was the end of Torreira, and he went to Sampdoria. He went back to Italy. Then from there he couldn't get any time. He then went to Galatasaray. But you saw them today performing. You saw those outcasts in quotes performing.
The likes of Ziyech too.
You saw Ziyech. I know right now Chelsea fans will be like, come on! How did we let this guy go? Well, for Manchester United, it's more like he didn't dare be say he didn't dare. Because we saw it today, even when, Grace found them that they were leading by 2-0. Then Ziyech scored the goal. It was 2-1. Lo and behold, they got back again at the 55th minute to score a goal, and it was 3-1. And we are like, okay, this is done and dusted. Manchester United is back. Boom! All of a sudden, chaos everywhere. Chaos everywhere. And yes, some persons out there are saying that the coach was not supposed to remove Amrabat. Even Amrabat was not having the best times of the match, and he was removed. You can imagine a game that Manchester United committed more fouls by a wide margin. A game that Manchester United holding possession was, and you know Manchester United. Today is not just about history of the club, okay? You had a game that Galatasaray, yes, they are at home, but how come they were leading you to about 60% possession against 40% possession? For a club, Manchester United club, that wants to be there at the knockout stage of the Champions League. It's so sad. It's so sad, my brother.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Onana. The second free kick Ziyech took in that game, I'm still trying to find an explanation for how he scored that. Because the ball came directly at Onana. He held the ball, somehow holding the ball, but somehow, I don't know, in his attempt to maybe put it into the corner, I don't know what happened. The next minute, the ball was in the net. And you can see performances like this from a goalkeeper who much is expected from. Because we can see his activities in the last Champions League, what he did with Inter Milan, to the extent they got to the finals against Manchester City. And I believe that was one of the reasons Manchester United purchased this guy, to come and bring those same heroics of last Champions League season to this one. And all of a sudden, Onana has been a shadow of himself, of his former self. So what are your thoughts on that performance from him?
But it also tells you that Manchester United, they are not Inter Milan. Okay? Why am I saying this? Because if you have a group of players and your fans are really, really supporting you, your confidence might not just be this way. And that is, I think, what is happening to Onana at the moment. Yes, he has made his errors during the early stage of the season. The season is getting closer to the business day of the season. But then you find out that Onana is a man out there that is gasping for confidence. And I think that is what has happened to him today. Yes, we can go out and banter players and banter coaches and all that. When the battering becomes so much, like Chelsea, you find out that confidence disappears. And I think that is what is also happening to Onana. Onana is a fine keeper, no two ways about that. Okay, we saw his heroics in the even in the Nations Cup. We saw his heroics even while he was growing, even when he was in Barcelona before moving to Inter Milan. This guy is a great goalkeeper. But you then ask, what has happened? These things don't just happen overnight. It is accumulated bands for me. He has been watered down. And imagine, for a goalkeeper, a high-class goalkeeper like that, having all these errors, what might be also going around him is that he might now, mind you, he now works with new coaches, okay? Who now knows what are those coaches telling him? Are they losing confidence in him? The Manchester United that he came to, Manchester United had a good goalkeeper, a goalkeeper that has been keeping them, that has been covering their nakedness for a long time. And then you now come, made your first error. People are like, second error, before you know it, the errors are now more like all the time. And that is one thing about a player making an error. By the time you start making those errors, even when the error does not mean so much, people and the press and the banter wagons will just magnify the whole thing. And I think that is just what is wrong with this man. I don't know where help will come from right now for him. Okay? But then, to the club, is a tough time for Manchester United right now. Okay? I see a Manchester United, unfortunately for the fans out there, I see a Manchester United that might not even make it to Europa League. I know some persons out there saying, they want to be at the Europa League, then win it. You think Europa League will be easy? You think Europa League will be easy?
It's better to qualify for Champions League than to go there.
You better be playing your Champions League, be collecting your money, be collecting your history, be collecting your coins, than say you want to come to the Europa League. No. I think it does not work. Yes, at the time, at this time, and maybe before the end of tonight, they might still be sitting at the bottom of the table. Yes, some persons out there might be also saying that Bayern Munich will gallop Copenhagen. Okay, mind you, Manchester United and Copenhagen, as it stands right now, are on the same point for 4 points. But Manchester United has lower goal difference. Okay, by 1. So, but then, well, it's more like the bookmakers will be smiling right now that Bayern Munich will win Copenhagen. But then, when we now get to the match day 6, when Manchester United will still be where they are at point 4, okay, the question now is, will they now win Bayern Munich? Some person will be like, okay, but then they are playing in their stadium. They are playing at Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams. But we know that Old Trafford right now is no longer a theatre of dreams.
It's a place where dreams are shattered.
It is also a theatre of nightmares, because a whole lot has happened there. Manchester United does not even see Old Trafford as home to them. Unlike, okay, one might say, okay, what happened last weekend was because they were at home and the young man was graced to have that bicycle kick. And look at, the young man came in today around the 11th minute or so, he banked a goal.
Yeah.
And people were like, wow. Garnacho.
Back.
All of a sudden, everything watered down. It's just so unfortunate, my brother.
Yes. So moving on, let's come to the league. I know that wherever Newcastle are, they'll be licking their lips with the scoreline, lying in wait for these guys in the Premier League. So what do you really feel will be Manchester United's fate in that match? Just be honest.
Well, let's not also forget that Newcastle United have been bruised because of the match they had with PSG. So will their confidence be back? That is the question. Okay, but then you cannot compare the form of Newcastle United to that of Manchester United. So I see a weekend of fun. I see a weekend of oh my God. But then Manchester United, forget what has happened tonight too. Manchester United are still Manchester United. When push also comes to shove, I know that they've been messing around, but then there is a time in a club like Manchester United and Liverpool that you as a player, in fact, the grace of history will be the one carrying you. You will not even be the one playing that game. Okay? The history of the club will just be the one driving you, and that might be their killer come this weekend. It might just be the jackpot for them this weekend. Other than that, it will be a whitewash.
All right, let's see how it goes this weekend. All right, Amos, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you, bro.
And
Thank
I
you,
hope to
bro.
hear from you some other
Thank
time.
you,
All right.
bro. Cheers.
Good night.
Good night.